you can't say I always get sick in the fall and then not expect to be sick in the fall. You've just
Right.
told yourself your brain's entire job is to do what you're
Mhm.
telling it to do. So if you're telling it, I get sick, it thinks that that's what you're needing to do and you get sick. It's no different than when you go to buy a brand new car. You think of a brand new car and you've never seen them on the street before. You haven't seen that color that you want. You haven't seen the car that you want. And as soon as you tell yourself, I'm going to get XYZ car in XYZ color, suddenly you see them everywhere because your brain has opened up the filter that said, this is what's important to this person. So now I'm going to allow that information to come in. We are embedded and bombarded so much with so much information that our brain has to filter some of it out. But if you tell it it's important, then it allows that in.
And that's what we tell our clients, right? Because what you focus on grows. Or I always had this quote that I loved: if you dwell on what you do not want, then you're going to get more of it. So if
Hmm.
you dwell on your finances and your lack of it, you're going to get more of a struggle. If you dwell on the fact that all the good ones are gone for a new partner, then you're going to get more of that. And our brains want us to stay safe. So whenever something is uncomfortable, our brain is going to say, no, you don't want that. That's not good. So that's why when we focus on a new goal or something really exciting, and we know we want it, like we want that at that time. But then when it starts to get uncomfortable, or when those triggers, emotional triggers come in, that's when all of a sudden our brain is like, no. And then we sabotage, or we'll go back to a repeated pattern, right? And until we change that, until we learn to focus on what we want and not what we don't want, it will continually just repeat that loop, because those 60,000 plus thoughts that our subconscious is thinking every day has been wired all through our life, and it's up to us. And that's what, like, our brain is this amazing computer that will do what we want it to do. And I love this study about like pianists. It was like a Harvard study, right? And
Yeah.
or the same thing you could say with athletes that visualize that perfect shot, right? But when pianists were playing, and they studied that the activation in the brain, and when they just imagined it, that same activation in the brain happened.